Senator Roberts, you have the call.
Thank you. I speak to this motion to take note. I have yet to read the document in full and in detail, yet its existence is very disturbing, as other speakers have already said. At Senate estimates, Anthony Albanese's office is putting words in the mouth of department heads. How can we trust their answers? We cannot trust this government. Repeatedly we get suppression of democracy. Repeatedly. And we're seeing arrogance. So let's have a look at some data, and then I'll come back to talking more about this document. As of the end of December 2023, the 7th of December specifically, after 94 Senate sitting days in the 47th Parliament, that's Anthony Albanese's Parliament, guillotine motions agreed to 14. Under the previous Morrison government in the 46th Parliament, guillotine motions agreed to 14. Now we start seeing the difference. Total number of bills subjected to guillotine in the 47th Parliament under the Labor, Greens, Teal-Pocock coalition, led by Anthony Albanese, 87 bills subject to guillotine. In the 46th Parliament under the Morrison Liberals, 59. So we see almost 50% more in this government under the coalition that they have formed with Senator Pocock, Greens and Labor, and sometimes, quite often, Jackie Lambie's support. Promised transparency and accountability. Instead, we get repeated suppression of democracy. Repeatedly. Arrogance. That's what we say it is, arrogance. We see that suppression of democracy is a form of control. Always beneath control, there is fear. Of what is the Albanese Labor, Greens, Teals, Pocock coalition afraid? Afraid of truth, Madam Acting Deputy President, afraid of truth. Afraid fundamentally of an informed citizenry. They don't want people to know. Now the media has seen copies of the Prime Minister's, the PMO's secret manual on sidestepping Senate estimates questions. That's the headline. Capital Brief, I'll quote from there. Capital Brief has seen a document sent by Anthony Albanese's office advising departments on how to handle questions on notice from Senate estimates. Current and former senators say the edict represents contempt of the Senate. Contempt of the Senate is a very serious matter. Another article. Current and former senators, lawyers and a former top judge have said the drafting of the document could result in contempt of the Senate. Contempt of the Senate. Anthony Albanese's office has stood by, another quote, by a document it issued to Senate senior bureaucrats which advised them how to sidestep Senate estimates questions on the basis that inquiries have skyrocketed. Well, that's your job. I don't care if they've skyrocketed. We'll keep asking questions since Labor came to government. I'll get to the Prime Minister's office manual, what we've seen of it so far. I haven't dissected it. When the interests of several departments, this is a quote, are involved, the government guidelines for official witnesses before parliamentary committees and related matters call for departments to consult with other departments as part of the drafting process. This includes instances where the same or similar Senate estimates questions on notice are asked of all or multiple departments and agencies. Why are you worried about different answers from different departments? Look at some of the topics covered. Well, we'll go through that another time. One Nation normally, I know this is not a motion by leave to seek a variation of standing orders, but we normally oppose them because the Senate should be focused firstly on Senate responsibilities, and secondly, the Senate should be focused on government business. We want the government to govern. Senate estimates, though, are a vital part of holding governments and bureaucrats accountable for taxpayer funds. Why do you hide from that? Why do you hide from that? Anthony Albanese's department wants to hide the truth from the people. We have seen the Fair Work Commission and Fair Work Ombudsman stumbling through my answer to questions, attempting to get to the bottom of their complicity with the CFMEU and major multinational labour hire firms, stealing $30,000 to $40,000 per miner each year from thousands of casual miners in central Queensland and the Hunter Valley. They hide the facts wilfully. The Fair Work Ombudsman Office relies on fraud repeatedly. The Labor Minister for Workplace Relations ignores and diverts. It's embarrassing for departments. We look forward to reviewing the formally secret document in detail because democracy is at stake.